Hey, and welcome back to the playlist on anxiety. I want to take a minute today to talk with you about the idea of intrusive thoughts. So those thoughts that just kind of attack you and just jump into your brain, no matter what you're doing, what's going on, usually the worst case scenario. I just had this example happen for me, and I'm wondering if this is going to resonate with you. Before I share that example, I want to tell you exactly what we're going to cover in this video. So we're going to cover something called automatic negative thoughts, ANTs, and we're going to cover how to self-soothe or what to do within your body, within your mind to combat when that actually happens in real time. Okay, so I'm driving. This happens to me a lot. I'm not really sure what the science is on this, on the brain chemistry that makes you more susceptible to automatic negative thoughts or worry or anxiety, but I have that, and maybe you do also. So I'm driving, and I all of a sudden feel like I'm gonna get in a car accident. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in a car accident. I'm gonna die in a car accident right now. And I notice that it's an automatic negative thought. It's not a reality, it's not a truth, but it feels so panicky at that moment. And I remember doing this work before, so since things get a little easier when you practice them. So when you first have this thought, maybe just pull over, slow your breathing, practice, not in a car. But as you get better at meeting your own needs and recognizing your automatic negative thoughts, you can in real time, in sometimes potentially dangerous situations, talk yourself off the ledge. This is dangerous because when you are so hyper-focused on something happening, usually it does happen. It's sort of like that self-fulfilling prophecy or the law of attraction. Think about like, I don't know, snowboarding maybe, or steering a car. Whatever you're focused on, your energy is going to go, or even, hitting a golf ball. Whatever you're focused on, your energy is focused on, your mindset, your eyes are on, that's the direction you're going to go. So if you are panicking about having a potential car accident for no good reason at all, just on a regular Tuesday, you get this automatic negative thought that says, I'm in danger, I'm going to crash, and you're going to white knuckle it. And sometimes when we feel this kind of panic style anxiety, it hijacks our brain. And we stop making good rational decisions, and we stop being present and aware. And so because we are not present and aware, and we don't have good rational decision making on board, and we are closed, it's the feeling of like closing in, right? Isn't it? It's not expansive, open, awareness, relaxed. It's this like stressed, slow, closed in like feeling. And when you start to operate out of that, you do make more mistakes, and you do steer towards the wrong outcomes. I don't want to tell you that. Just thinking it will make it so. So if you just think yourself out of a bad outcome, you'll never have a car accident. Like, we still live in a world where other people exist and other people's wills are around us, operating around us all the time. So yeah, I do believe that we can call in and manifest negative things to happen to us occasionally if we are not present and aware of our situations. Like if we you burn yourself on something that you just didn't like think of, or you pet a dog that was asleep. I got bit in the face by a dog because I pet him when it was asleep, and I wasn't really aware of my body or aware of the dog or aware of my situation. I put myself in danger because I wasn't aware of what was happening. And so when we become hyper fixated on our automatic negative thought, we become less aware of the reality that is happening in our lives. And I don't know what automatic negative thought happens to you, but this is one that happens to me pretty often. The other ones that happen to me is like somebody else is going to die, or somebody else is in danger, or specifically my dogs. Man, I love these little dogs so much. And just out of nowhere in the middle of the day, I'm like, my dog's going to die. My dog's sick. I need to, and then you get none of that is reality. You get so riled up in your automatic negative thought that you can't see reality. And you, because of that, can make mistakes that are dangerous. Okay, so here are the types of automatic negative thoughts. A doctor called Doc Amen came out with a book that I did cover in What to Read for Anxiety. It's called Captain Snout and the Superpower Questions. It's a children's book. So cool. And it's a nicely illustrated picture book that you look through And every automatic negative thought category is a little picture. They're called ants, A-N-T, automatic negative thoughts. So there's a couple different types of ants that you might suffer from. Here are the types that are really common, all right? So fortune telling. So you think that you know what's happening in the future. The other ones are all or nothing. So it's either this or it's that. There's like no in between. That's a type of automatic negative thought. A couple other ones are less than, where you think that you are less deserving than everybody else, or focusing on the negative, blaming somebody else, needing to have a blame in order for you to feel okay. That's an automatic negative thought. Start to recognize that these are almost like reflexes, right? That's not really truly how you feel, and it certainly isn't really truly what's happening. It's just an automatic thought. It's a negative thought that you can be curious about and choose out of. And yes, choose out of. You can say, whoa, that's terrifying and terrible, and that is not true. I'm going to reject that one. A couple other types of automatic negative thoughts are things like labeling. So needing something to be labeled a certain way and then being all in on that label. I am bad, or I am anxious. And so now my entire personality is just that. That's an automatic negative thought. Another one is taking it personally. And then there's the big one that I think that we probably all suffer from. It's if then this. Automatic negative thought. If only this happened, then that can happen. And again, that's not rooted in reality, and that plagues you with negative feelings, and it stops you from being able to be present in the reality that you truly have. So here I am driving, and all of a sudden I'm having a great day. Music's playing, and I'm going to get a treat, and I've done really good for the day, so I'm feeling pretty good. Probably that's when you get the automatic negative thoughts, is when things are going so well, your brain has to be like, nope, shut that down. So I'm driving. All of a sudden I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in a car accident. And my breathing goes, and my hands white knuckle. And then finally I get oh yeah, this is an automatic negative thought, and I can step out of it. And I'm gonna teach you how to step out of it, okay? So listen, the reason why you have some of those automatic negative thoughts is because sometimes they are true. And sometimes these things did happen, maybe in the past, or to people that you know, maybe not to you. Somebody died in a car accident unexpectedly. They probably didn't know they were going to die in a car accident. You probably lost somebody. You probably had something terrible happen in your life, and that is why occasionally this, what feels like it could be reality, but it's totally based in fantasy, automatic negative thought jumps into your brain. It's normal to be nervous and scared about stuff that we can't understand or don't explain and can't even prepare for. But we don't have to choose to have preemptive grief about something that hasn't happened yet. When we choose that preemptive grief and we call in that negative energy and we sit with it, we identify with it, we are likely to hurt ourselves and maybe other people. And so here's what is true. So the Captain Snout and the Superpower Questions asks you to ask yourself, is that true? And, we can really fool ourselves into saying, yeah, of course it's true. It's happening to me. But the second question is that 100% true? Okay, well, it's not 100%. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, so it can't be 100% true. So I guess maybe it's not true. Okay, like there's a margin of that's not true. It's not true yet. And maybe it won't be true. All right, so I'm using those superpower questions. And the next thing that is so important to follow that up with is, yeah, that is somebody's story, but listen, that is not my story. Whew. Yes, this is not, I do not get into a car accident today. I am not choosing that timeline. I am okay. I am all right. I am unclenching my jaw. I'm not in a car accident. I'm going to be in a car accident if I don't focus and get to the present moment and stop future telling and stop black and whiting and stop inviting these negative thoughts into my head. What's more important right now is to block all of that out and to focus. It's almost like you're a race car driver and you really need to focus on not being in an accident, being open and perceptive to things that are going around you. Almost like you're a snowboarder and you're covering down the mountain, and there is a possibility that if you hyper-focus in one way, you're gonna go that way and you're gonna wipe out. Don't do that. Stay focused on what matters. What matters is that that is not truth. That has not happened yet. Don't count on that to be your future. You can say, that does happen to some people, but that is not happening to me. That is not my story. So the first thing you do when you recognize that you're having an automatic negative thought is to recognize that it's an automatic negative thought. And then to say, this is not reality. Not yet anyways. And I'm not choosing to live in this feeling of anxiety, preemptive grief for something that hasn't happened yet, because that's dangerous. I am going to choose to let that go and then continue to be open and expansive and aware of my surroundings so I don't make a mistake and that I get myself home safely. You can do that. You can. I know you're probably thinking, that sounds super hard. And especially if you're feeling hijacked and your brain's struggling with an automatic negative thought. But once you learn to recognize your automatic negative thoughts, it gets easier to practice the self-soothing of, this is not true. I am not choosing that. This is not my story. It is more important for me right now to be focused on what is true. And the truth is that I need to be open and aware and present for my life because it feels better and because it's dangerous not to. This is in your control. This is in your control. Say that to yourself. Put your hand on your heart. This is in my control. I can control the small risks that I put myself in. I can reduce the amount of struggle and pain in my own life by recognizing the half-truths and the outright lies that happen to me. Those are automatic negative thoughts. Maybe I'm genetically predispositioned to get those, and that's okay too. But I also can just let them go. However you want to let that go. Shake your shoulders out a little bit. Take a deep breath. Tap on your chest as a reminder that you're in control of your thoughts. These are just automatic, not chosen negative thoughts. I choose my thoughts. I'm thinking that this is going to be a great day, that I'm going to have a lovely drive, that I'm going to get home safe, and I'm going to have a breakfast that I like, and I'm going to enjoy the sunrise, and the sunset today. I'm going to play with my dogs. And if my automatic negative thought says, oh my gosh, this is all your fault, and it's not necessarily pinned to something catastrophic, but it's more pinned to a punishment, you can also remind yourself that that's okay too. You are capable of handling a punishment. Sometimes when we have anxiety, we feel like we're gonna die if we do something wrong, like we never want to disappoint anybody, and that if we have to, God, the pain and the embarrassment and the shame of having a negative consequence or a punishment is just like, so painful. You know what? It's really not that big of a deal. Everybody makes a mistake. And if you have to approach a punishment for something, you can do that too. That's my bad. I'll take that. I made a mistake. I have to live with that consequence. That sucks. But I'm capable of handling that. I can get back on track. It might be hard, it might be frustrating, it might be annoying. I might feel a little silly. That's not going to kill me. I'm not going to die. I'm going to be okay, and I can get through it. All right, if this was helpful for you, which I know it was because it's helpful for me too, please hit that like button and subscribe. Send this to somebody that you think will really benefit from hearing this reminder on being able to choose your thoughts and recognizing your automatic thoughts. I'll also put in the links below that information about Doc Amon's book, Captain Snout and the Superpower Questions about the ants, so you can review that as well because I think that's so important. And stay tuned. I have a lot more information here on the channel for how to manage and tolerate your own hard feelings and your anxiety. And I hope to see you on our next video.